welcome back to GP Reactions. My name is Gail, and I hope you've all had a nice Christmas and, of course, Happy New Year to you all. So my Christmas was great up until about the first week, and then sadly I had to take my poor little fur baby to the vets, and yeah, sort of wish her on her journey into cat heaven, and so I was a little bit sad about that, and. Yeah, I mean, to say sad is probably an understatement. 22 years old she was. So she kind of felt like she was definitely part of the family. Um, so yeah, that was just the second half. So I went a bit quiet. I wanted to do a lot of reactions, but I don't think I was in the right frame of mind to do them. Anyway, I'm back, and it's good to but it's like kind of a rare thing for me these days to be doing reactions on a morning. It's like really frosty as well, so it kind of feels more Christmassy now than it did at Christmas, which is a bit annoying because I've got to go back to work tomorrow. And I know there's going to be frost and snow and all that kind of junk floating around. And in Birmingham, it's not nice because traffic comes to a standstill, and if it does snow, it just turns to slush. It's kind of a grey stuff. But I was asked by somebody if I could react to XTC since he's working overtime, and I have listened to this before on this channel, but it was in the very, very early days of my reactions, and although the song was to me anyway from years and years ago, I felt like it would be fun just to kind of have a look at it. Um, I haven't heard it since, so for about 5 years. Somebody did ask me to have a look at Top of the Pops version, which was the version that I reacted to anyway. So I'm going to be looking at a slightly different studio version. It's from Granada Late Night, and I'm going to see if there's anything about this song that I'm picking up now that I didn't when I first started this channel. So if you can forgive me for my indulgence, it is sort of like around about that time of year when this came out as well. So that would have been 40, 43 years ago. Uh, Maybe, yeah, about 43 years ago. So yeah, this reached number 10 in the UK Top 40 in the January of 1982, and it's taken from the album An English Settlement. It is track 3 on the album, and we have Terry Chambers on drums and synths, Dave Gregory on electric guitar, percussion, Colin Moulding on bass and backing vocals, and of course Andy Partridge on lead vocals and acoustic guitar. So I'm interested to see if there's any difference, if this is an actual live version. I think so. This is Granada Late Night Television. Never heard of it. Obviously, I wouldn't have had access to it back in the day because I think is Granada up north? Is that like a northern television? I'm not sure, to be fair. But here we go. This is Senses Working Overtime by XTC.
Well, now to a group who've just jetted in from Holland. Why do pop groups always jet in? Anyway, their new single is also jetting up the charts. It's now at number 15. It's called Senses Working Overtime. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, XTC.
Hey, hey, the clouds are away, the straw for the donkeys and the innocents can all sleep safely, all sleep safely. My, son is pie, there's fodder for the cannons and the guilty ones can all sleep safely.
So immediately, like from the first time I heard this, I'm picking up. It's kind of like he's saying it's representing the simplicity of life. I think, in the very first couple of lines.
Well, now to a group who've just jetted in from Holland. Why do pop groups always jet in? Anyway, their new single is
maybe they're
also
busy.
jetting up the charts. It's now at number 15. It's called Senses Working Overtime. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, XTC.
Such a random outfit. already it sounds slightly different, so maybe this is live. So take that back. I'm going to really annoy people because I'm going to keep pausing this. I'm sure I am.
Hey, hey, the clouds are away. The straw for the donkeys and the innocents can all sleep safely. All sleep safely.
Already the lyrics really interesting. Straw, for instance, it's kind of depicting two things. It's depicting, I think, the innocence of simpler days. You know, a couple hundred years ago, maybe. Um, like the very simplicity of life itself, but it's also depicting a sort of obliviousness, obliviousness of the darker side of life and power that's going on. I'm already picking it up. Innocence can all sleep safely. I like that line because then that you immediately you think that there are other people who aren't innocent, who are up to no good.
Sleep safely. All sleep safely. My son is pie. There's father for the cannons, and the guilty ones can all sleep safely. All sleep safe.
Fodder for cannons. I mean, this works in so many different sort of centuries. It's on the one hand you have the modern idea that well you have the old idea of people being up to no good, but then all of a sudden it's fodder for the cannons. You know, it's people that are sent to war. And right now, you know, all of a sudden, there are the military in Europe is actually saying, you know, we want to call people up. We're talking about national service, talking about calling people up. Um, so it's just history, kind of like nothing has changed, and that's pretty worrying, you know. So let's just take this back. I don't want to take it back too far. Take it back to the start and start again. I'll listen to this whole section.
Hey, hey, the clouds are away. The straw for the donkeys and the innocents can all sleep safely. All sleep safely. My son is pie. There's father for the cannons, and the guilty ones can all sleep safely. All sleep safely.
Do you know that bass with the drums when they've just kicked in there? It makes me feel very kind of claustrophobic. It's like on one of those lovely summer days when you kind of I don't know if you've ever had this feeling where on a summer you know, it can be a really, really nice warm day, and you kind of have that feeling that something bad is going to happen, a little bit of feeling of dread, and the drums and the bass right there, it's right in the gut of your stomach, that you can sort of feel. You either, you know, and in this case, I think you're either going to get dragged away or something bad's going to happen. But it kind of really sort of like it's a really real kind of contradiction. Is it called a juxtaposition with like having a lovely summer's day, the clouds all fluffy and they look like whey, um, and with this kind of feeling that something bad is about to go down. But yeah, I really like the way they come in.
Father for the cannons, and the guilty ones can all sleep safely. All sleep safely.
Brilliant bass.
And all the world is football shaped. It's just for me to kick in space. And I can see, hear, smell, touch, taste. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Trying to take this all in. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Trying to taste the difference between a lemon and a lime. Pain and pleasure, and the church bell softly chime.
I wonder what he means by since he's working overtime. Uh, all his senses are one, two, three, four, five. Hang on, so taste, sight, hearing. should feel. Um, am I missing something? Eyes, hear, sight, ears, hearing, nose, smelling, um, tasting. Yeah. So I think we're quite simple. We engage life with all our senses, and we're trying to sort of like maybe sense what's the differences around us. It's our own protection. I'm sure there's more to the meaning of that, but that's kind of where I see it. You know, we use all our senses to gauge the world around us, and I love still that this idea, simplistic idea that the world is a football to kick into space. It's it could mean something very very dark and different, but uh, I just kind of feel it's like a simple idea. We make simple notions from what we can see around us and feel around us. Um, yeah, maybe I'm 100% wrong now. I'm sure I'm.
Hey, hey, the night fights day. There's food for the thinkers, and the innocents can all live slowly. All live slowly. My,
The
the
tambourine.
sky will cry. Jewels for the thirsty, and the guilty ones can all die slowly. All die slowly.
I think we're now getting into the area of taking and greed and um, jewels for the thirsty. So you can't like if the jewels, if rich people have jewels, they're not going to feed anyone. Um, it's just kind of collecting stuff for the sake of collecting it. It's about amassing wealth so you can have power. Um, yeah, it's getting very dark. We just take that back.
All live slowly. My, the sky will cry. Jewels for the thirsty, and the guilty ones can all die slowly. All die slowly. And all the world is biscuit shaped. It's just for me to feed my face. And I can see, hear, smell, touch, taste. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. This all in, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Trying to taste the difference between a lemon and a lime. Pain and pleasure, and the church bells softly chime. And birds might fall from black skies. Woo! And bullies might give you black eyes. And buses might spit on black ice. But to me they're very, very beautiful. And all the world is football shaped. It's just for me to kick in space. And I can see, hear, smell, touch, taste. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Trying to take this all in. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Trying to tell the difference between the goods and crime, dirt and treasure, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working
I think this song works on a really kind of universal um, topic of like using our senses to detect what's good, what's bad, detect who's good, who's bad, um, what is okay to eat, what isn't okay to eat. And this is all like done with this backdrop of like modern society, but also it's almost linked to a medieval situation of perhaps plague. Birds will fall out of black skies, and I find that kind of really interesting. So it kind of feels very, what's the word? It feels like it encompasses a lot of information. I'm going to just take this back once more, listen to the whole thing, see if there's anything else I can understand from this. And I will say the drums are really
Hey,
great in this. I've
hey,
never
the
really picked them out
clouds
before
are
properly.
away, the straw for the donkeys and the innocents can all sleep safely. All
Look
sleep
at my ear.
safely. My, son is pie. There's father for the cannons and the guilty ones can all sleep safely. All sleep
Face.
safely. And all the world is football shaped. It's just for me to kick in space. And I can see, hear, smell, touch, taste. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working
It's a really good hook.
overtime. Trying to take this all in. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working
A lot of bands use that 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yeah, and sometimes they use it as like a link into a verse or something. But I just love the way that they've done this. It couldn't be more perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses. Um, and when you first kind of hear it, thinking, yeah, this could do well. This could do really, really well commercially. Just that hook alone.
overtime. Trying to taste the difference between a lemon and a lime. Pain and pleasure and the church bells.
Trying to taste the difference between lemon and lime. I mean, I suppose back in the day, that would have been like the difference between scurvy or not scurvy, maybe. Um, or maybe that's the difference between I don't know, because lemon and lime, they're both citric, they're both acidic tastes. Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's a nuances between, I don't know, let's say politicians, maybe one politician isn't so bad. They're both politicians, so they both come from the same food group, but you have to kind of like discern between the two. And maybe that's what he's talking about. Lemon and lime obviously was it related to kind of scurvy and stuff. Um,
Pain and pleasure and the church bells softly chime.
the pain and the pleasure and the church bell softly chiming. It's kind of interesting because I guess that, religion has a way of allowing people to accept their faith, even though maybe the church, when it was at its most powerful, was instrumental in that faith. Create the problem and tell you to accept it, because that's what God wants you to do. Maybe. So many different things that historical things that flash into my mind.
Hey, hey, the night fights day. There's food for the thinkers and the innocents can all live slowly. All live slowly.
Again, I kind of caught a bit of only a snippet of that Oppenheimer film. I know who Oppenheimer is, and Food for the Thinkers. Well, the innocent can all sleep slowly. I think he said. Again, he, I think a lot of this is to do with power, corruption, and manipulation of people, using God as a tool. Um, and while we're still innocent and blind and asleep, then obviously whoever claims the power can pretty much do what they want, as long as they give us what we want. And sometimes what we want isn't necessarily what we get. So yeah, it really sort of spans decades and centuries, and just everything that we know now that was probably happening 2, 3, 400 years ago. Crazy.
My, the sky will cry. Jewels for the thirsty and the guilty ones can all die slowly. All die slowly. And all the world is biscuit shaped. It's just for me to feed my face. And I can see, hear, smell, touch, taste. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. This all in, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I just wanted to take it back there because, like, there's still something about the music in the verses that really kind of.
This biz
That's right. Let me just take it back a bit.
my the sky all it's slowly.
It's a really uncomfortable, dark, sinister feel about that music.
Will cry. Jewels
Perfect.
thirsty and the guilty ones can all die
Yeah, so sinister. It's kind of like it's kind of like those moments where, I mean, for example, if someone wants to declare war tomorrow, I mean, on a perfect summer's day or something, and you're sitting there thinking, yeah, it's beautiful outside, but something very dark happening, and this music actually captures that perfectly. It just makes you feel really uncomfortable, on edge, um, but kind of like in a is it a melody? Um, you kind of it's an uncomfortable, relaxed state. I think that's what I mean. Um, this is such a great song, I'm really glad I've come back again to listen to it.
senses working overtime. Trying to taste the difference between a lemon and a lime. Pain and pleasure and the church bells softly chime. Birds might fall from black skies.
Yeah, it's definitely got a bit about the plague or something, or biblical. Don't know.
Bullets might give you black eyes. And buses might spit on black ice. But to me they're very, very beautiful.
So I don't know about this bit. It kind of felt like maybe they were sort of alluding to the plague, but then maybe it's just saying that, bad things can happen, random things can happen by chance, and it enables us to actually understand the world around us, but accept that the world around us, within our powers, is what we can enjoy with all our senses. Um, and yeah, definitely, I think, somebody once said in a movie, I think it was Rollerball, and it was a character played by James Caan. I think his name was Jonathan. Anyway, the world's run by corporations in that film, and they say to Jonathan, "We want you to retire." And because the crowds love him, he doesn't want to retire. So what they do is they start to change the game around him to make it more violent, more dangerous, essentially trying to maybe kill him off so that they can kill his name off because he's now becoming more popular than or bigger than the corporation that owns everything. And eventually, he says when they want to retire him, he has a meeting with one of the directors, and he's worrying about this and worrying about that, and questioning this, questioning that. And the director says, "Why worry about decisions you're not powerful enough to make yourself?" And I thought that was quite poignant because sometimes there are things that simply aren't in our hands, maybe, um, and that we just have to accept and enjoy it, with all our senses in what's going on. um, because otherwise we'll drive ourselves mad. We can get angry about stuff. If we can do something about something, it's worth getting angry about it. If you can't, then it's not. That's just my own personal philosophy. It's for other higher, more powerful people to step in and do that work. Um, but yeah, I think this song's highlights a lot of different social issues. It highlights life itself and death, and highlights the role of the church in the manipulation, exploitation of its flock. Um, Highlights the power that governments have, that they can send us to, and we all we want is a simple life. That's the crazy thing about this song. We just want things to actually be nice and simple. Um, and as you know, for anyone who's takes in what's around them at the moment, life couldn't be more complicated as it is now. Um, Nothing's affordable, nothing's free except for the air, for however long that is. And that's life now. We've made a pig's ear of the planet. We've made a pig's ear of society. I don't think there's many societies that are coping, um, because there's systems that just don't fit. So I don't want to get too deep on that subject, but I think it's time for a big change. And this song's beautiful because it really kind of highlights everything I feel about life and power and me and what's around me. And like I said at the beginning, I've just lost my cat. So again, it was something very painful, but I, I immersed myself in the feeling in that moment that, you know, that she died, you know, but birds fall out of black skies. I immersed myself in that moment. I, I used all my senses. I wanted to smell her fur. I wanted to kind of I smelt I think it was like whatever they were pumping into her. It was it was coming out of her breath. Um, I touched her. Yeah, all these different senses I used, and I think we need to engage more with our senses. I think because we would learn a lot about ourselves, we'd learn a lot about our environment, and we would learn a hell of a lot about the people who profess to um, look after us in our world. So. Yeah, this is a fantastic song. Really loved it. Let's have a quick look to see what people say about this. Might not be too many comments on this, but 24 comments, great video quality. Late night from 2 on Granada TV. Presenters Shay Road and Bob Greaves. Um, yeah, so I wasn't sure whether this was live or not. Somebody said whether he's lip syncing. I think May maybe there was some aspect that was re-recorded or live because we were still living in that age of having to justify the musicians union, um, or not justify. That sounds really bad, but the musicians union, I'm pretty sure, was still uh, fully involved with these live shows or shows that went out recorded maybe. So have a quick look at the lyrics to see if I haven't missed anything. The clouds are away. Hey, hey, the clouds are away. There's straw for the donkeys and the innocents can all sleep safely. I mean, it sounds idyllic and beautiful. And my son is pie. My son is pie. There's fodder for the cannons. That's people. And the guilty ones can all sleep safely. The world is football shaped just for me to kick in space. Not so sure about that. All I can see, hear, smell, touch, taste. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working over time. Trying to take this all in. Trying to taste the difference between lemon and lions, the pain and the pleasure, and the church bells softly chime. So, regardless of whether you're feeling pain and pleasure, church bells, church services will always carry on. Same message. Night fights, night fights day. There's food for the fingers. Innocence can all live slowly. My sky will cry. Jewels for the thirsty, and the guilty ones can all die slowly. It may be that maybe that's the thing. Maybe if it's power that you seek, and maybe that was the thing back in the day that the idea that if there's a plague, then everyone dies, or if you put your if you worry more about wealth than food, then I suppose that's the same thing. And all the world is biscuit shaped just for me to feed my face. Is that about greed? I'm not sure. The birds might fall from black skies, and bullies might give you black eyes. Pussies might skid on black eyes, but to me it's very beautiful. And let's have a quick look, see if anyone's wrote anything about this. It's a critic to social blind consumerism led by overloading the senses and satiating their bellies as instincts, numbing even the fingers, leaving everybody blunt uh, to just follow, already fall asleep. The song is what's that, it's about being overly stressed in these modern times, working out that good is bad, old and simpler times are easy. Yeah, that's just, I think there's lots of different themes that run throughout this, and I think that overall it touches on a hell of a lot of themes. This song does. It's not as simple as people thought. I think when I previously reacted to this, I thought it was just about plague and stuff like that. But I think this is about consumerism. I think it's about manipulation. I think it's about religion. Um, the relentless march of like religion and without consideration for its flock. Um, definitely about kind of like waking up, using your senses to see what's around you. It's a magnificent song actually. I think it's very underrated back in its day when it came out. People were looking for just light, fluffy stuff back in '82, uh, and some of these darker songs, this Golden Brown, which all came out at the same time. It didn't quite hit the top spot, but they other people definitely must have seen the potential, and they were both catchy songs as well. So, um, and you know, these people made catchy songs. They didn't need to rant and shout at people um, to get a message across, like maybe they do now. These songs were expertly crafted, melodious, and just the lyrics were so powerful and they work on so many levels. I'm talking about Golden Brown and Senses Working Overtime. Folks, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed my revisit to this, please join me in the comments below. I think XTC are geniuses. I don't always fully understand what the lyrics are about, first off, but every time you delve into them, this is why these songs never get old, because they keep giving you a fresh take on them, fresh view. Things happen in the world today that we can all of a sudden, bing, they relate to what's going on in these videos, these songs, and yeah, that's the beauty of them. Um, very sad that we don't have music around like this right now. I think the people have been sedated to a certain extent. Even songwriters, even good songwriters, are sedated to a certain extent by modern technology and especially the dangers of AI. But anyway, that's for another day. So, folks, please join me in the comments below, and till next time, take care of yourselves.